Mayor John Tory announcing today that $6 million in savings has been found during the budget process that can be put toward more services, and that it will be up for debate when the matter is presented to the full City Council at a special meeting in 2 weeks. All this while the idea for a future tax is also being floated.
Based on the feedback from both the Budget Committee and the public, I would be willing to support amendments to the budget that would allocate these additional funds towards housing or transit, climate, affordability measures, community safety and well-being, community grants and programming, and other key priorities that were raised during the budget process.
It's a long list of possibilities for newfound money in the city's budget. But $6 million to play with amounts to very little compared to an overall operating budget of $16 billion. The bigger picture includes a 4% increase to the police budget, a 5.5% increase to property taxes, a 10-cent increase to TTC fares, while many have been pushing for more homeless or mental health supports.
I know that there are many heartfelt reasons why we need to spend that money, and one of the obvious possibilities is the various agencies who are serving the most vulnerable, whose budget was frozen in the original budget.
Could you not have found more than $6 million this time around?
Again, so recognizing when we're looking at the challenges that we have been facing in balancing the budget, we have been turning over every stone we can to find savings, upwards of almost $600 million in savings that we've already found.
One new revenue tool that seems to have found some backing is a commercial parking levy, although not necessarily in time for this year's financial woes. Initially set aside by the mayor as something that had already been studied, there is indication it could raise as much as $500 million in the future once City Hall figures out how to implement it.
I know it will take 18 to 24 months to implement, but I think we need to have a long-term strategy in place to make sure that we don't use this stopgap year after year to figure things out.
I think with the updated information, knowing that much of the data we have goes back to 2016, which was some time ago, we can then make an assessment in the clear light of day as to what should be done.
Mayor Tory also repeated his call for help from the federal government for relief, with little time to make up for a $2 billion shortfall from COVID-related expenses. He included the need for a new fiscal framework in the country to allow cities, especially Toronto, more freedom and not rely on other levels of government for funding.
And so I'm just saying it's time to actually sit down and discuss the reality of how services are being delivered in this city and other cities, but my focus is on Toronto, and have the fiscal arrangements as between those governments, or the fiscal powers that we're given as a government, reflect those realities. While this is Tory's budget presented under the new strong mayor powers, it will still be brought to council for its special meeting on Valentine's Day, with the hope no love will be lost at City Hall when all is said and done. Mark McAllister, City News.